Welcome to week one of our four-part series looking at the structure of effective lesson building using the Prepare, Engage, Transform, and Reflect model, taking us up to the Thanksgiving break. With me today is Mr. Greg Bays, the Science Department Chair who teaches Physics and AP Physics C. So today our focus is going to be on the Prepare strategy. So Greg, what is your Prepare strategy?
My Prepare strategy is a method for just engaging students into the lesson that I'm going to teach. I generally follow a pattern where I display a slide to the students that has Prepare, Engage, Reflect with the learning targets for the day as well. The Prepare is generally a warm-up question to kind of remind them what we either did yesterday or prepare them for something we will do in class during that day. It's an application of a learning extension. Generally, it can be a math problem if we're doing math applications, or it can be a graph analysis. I use it to kind of evaluate what we're going to do and how the lesson will go.
And now we'll take a look at Greg using the Prepare in his AP Physics C class.
We got a warm-up today that deals with a three-dimensional motion problem where you are going to then also draw the graphs. I have to draw them on the next page, but I wanted to give you all the information from the start, where you will evaluate them for correctness, meaning are they correct or not. And then in the end, I would like you to determine the initial speed of the ball that he actually shoots it with. In class, after we're done with that, we're going to work on test prep. We're going to finish with what are you doing for your test to prep for it, and then Friday as a reminder.
So you kind of discussed some of your expectations for the activity. Teaching two different levels of classes, are your expectations different for an AP class versus a regular class?
The general expectations aren't different. They're the same. I expect that when the bell rings, the students come in, sit down, and then start on the warm-up, whether it be whatever type of problem it is or concept that we're studying. Students come in, sit down. In honor or in AP Physics, I do not kind of mandate how the students do it or where they place it. I have warm-up sheets that I use for regular physics that the expectation is students complete it there just as an organizationally thing. I don't mandate it for AP, but I do have several AP students who've asked for the warm-up sheet and do use it. The expectation for doing it is students always start by themselves and try to do it on their own, and I provide a couple of minutes, anywhere from 2 to 5, depending upon how complex the problem is. Sometimes in AP it could be up to 7 or 8 minutes just to give time to appropriately engage individually. Then we go to group work. They work with what I call their physics buddy or peer, and then generally as a class we discuss it.
Great. So is your strategy for the Prepare section, is it more student-led, teacher-led, or kind of a combination?
It would definitely be the third one. If you're just give me student-led or teacher-led, I'd answer yes, because it's both. It depends upon the question. There will be times where I have the students answer it, then they compare as a group, then we answer it as a class, and then I do it, lead it on the front of the board. There will be times where I actually have students answer on the board. Kind of alter it based on where I think student knowledge is and what information I want to get from the students and how much I want them to be able to explain to me. I will further also sometimes have the students actually correct one another's work, where I'll hand, if I have specific colors of markers that I match to the warm-up, I'll then hand those specific colors and markers to the students and then hand them again to another student and say, do you agree or disagree? So we're involved engaging multiple students across the classroom.
Excellent. So one final question I have for you. I know tardies and absences can be an issue with students. Do you share or have an ability for the students who may miss class for an activity, or they're just out ill, to get access to these questions or these PowerPoints?
Absolutely. I actually have the PowerPoints, which are my daily lessons every day, on the Google Classroom, and I at least once a week I refresh the PowerPoint to the top of the stream on Google Classroom.
I'd like to thank Greg for sharing his ideas to prepare students for learning on a daily basis. Please join us next week as we delve into part 2 of our mini-series here as we visit Megan Troyer, and she will explain how she uses Engage in the classroom for her daily lessons. Thank you, and see you next week.